Great. Okay, so hopefully some of what you shared is that during your high school experience, something that we found is a lot of our students during college, when I do this exercise, share experiences that happen outside of the classroom. I'd say honestly, nine times out of 10, they talk about the time they spend in an org or hanging out with friends in the city, spending time just laying around on campus. It's amazing to hear how many different experiences that happen in college don't actually happen in a classroom. And that's not in any way to knock what happens in the classroom, because that's obviously why you're coming to college. But most of the times, the memories we make about our times in an educational experience, whether that's high school, middle school, college, is happening around us. It's happening with people, it's happening with professors and other students and teachers that aren't always in those four walls with books open and presentation in front of us. It happens in clubs, and it happens out out in the field. So in SLE, we're specialists in this area at USF, at least when it comes to student orgs and events and leadership programs. And we're going to walk you through that and then give you some time for questions at the end. We like to think of your experience at USF as a story, your 4 to 5, maybe a couple more years if you need it, but really a chance to build a narrative for your future and what you're going to take with your USF experience and build a life for yourself. So we like to think in these 3 major buckets about learning that is engaged, connected to other people. We obviously focus on a passion for justice that maps to our Jesuit morals and the Jesuit mission of the institution. And we like to think that by the time you're done working with us and working with the organizations that we support and the programs that we run, that you're equipped to not just succeed, but also to be leaders in the work that you do. I am going to throw it over to my friend Cesar, who's on the call with us after this short video. We have some examples of what being involved at USF looks like. And if the video chugs along a little bit, it might be my connection, it might be your connection, it might just be life. We'll be sure to send out all of the video links after so that you can watch them in their full glory on your own computer on your own time. But hang out and check out this video. We've got one more later for you too. All right, I'm gonna let Cesar take you through this next slide.
All right, hi everyone, my name is Cesar. I use he, him, his pronouns. So let me tell you a little bit about student organizations in general. We have over 120 organizations right now that focus on serving undergraduate students and providing engagement opportunities for undergraduate students. And they do a lot of different things. So in 120 plus org, there's gonna be kind of a lot of different interests, a lot of purposes, a lot of missions that they each individually have. So our organizations are broken down into different categories. So for example, we have performance organizations, we have cultural organizations, religious and spiritual organizations, political organizations, academic organizations. And then we have our kind of like the catch-all, I guess, category that you can call, and that's special interest. So that's a lot of the organizations that maybe don't fit into the other ones that have more of a specific niche purpose or mission. And that could be from, I don't know, your Harry Potter clubs to something else that's completely different. So student organizations provide students, like I said, the opportunity to kind of find just commonality with others who have similar interests, who are trying to explore something that perhaps isn't, that you're not able to through your classes or through your other engagements. One of the first opportunities that you're going to have to meet all of our organizations when you start in the fall is going to be the involvement fair. So the involvement fair is going to happen on the second Tuesday. I'm forgetting the day, but we'll link it in the chat later. And that's when we basically get most of our student organizations out on the biggest scale that we have on campus, and you're able to meet them directly. So I would say that in that video that you just saw, a lot of the events that are hosted on our campus, a lot of the things that students love to engage in are events and activities that student organizations produce, and our office helps support them in doing that. And then another major student organization that exists on our campus and kind of has an impact and influence as far as a lot of what we do, a lot of the things that I guess our campus focuses on is our student government. So ASUSF is the association of students on our campus, and the Senate is kind of the governing body of that organization. So that is another opportunity for y'all to get involved in, whether that's through an elected position or joining one of the committees. It's an opportunity for y'all to kind of get involved, gain a sense of community with folks on campus, folks who have maybe been there for a little bit longer, show you the ropes a little bit, but then also have the opportunity to influence what are the policies that the student government is kind of focusing on, and really creating some change, tying back to the mission of the university. Other types of organizations that we also have are fraternities and sororities. So those are some things that you probably have some knowledge on, have seen, and are probably interested in looking into. We have 10 social fraternities and sororities, 6 sororities, 4 fraternities, and they each have the individual areas of interest, areas of philanthropy and service work that they do. And again, we're going to give you a full list in a bit, but I definitely encourage y'all to kind of look into all the different organizations that we already have on campus. When you get the list and when you go to our website, you'll see all of them there. And then know that once you get to campus, you spent your first semester kind of looking for your spot or your organization that you want to join. And if there isn't something that you necessarily think like, this is exactly what I'm looking for, there is an opportunity for you all to be able to create an organization, and we can guide you, our office guides you through that process as well. So if you have any questions about any of that, or student organizations in general, feel free to type them in the chat, and then we'll address them towards the end. And yeah, and I'll go ahead and shoot it back to Rich to move on with the presentation.
All right, thank you. One of the things that I want to say after following up on everything that Cesar had to share is I realized that you may be weighing 1 or 2 choices when it comes to colleges, and they all have student orgs and they all have leadership opportunities. So what makes USF special? And what I think makes USF special is that our organizations and our events look not just like any other college, but like one that is in San Francisco, in one that is a Jesuit institution. And I know that you can't get that anywhere else because we're the only one in SF. But I want to be able to show you more than just a video. So if you check out on Instagram, USF-SLE's page, or you check out the hashtag below, you can see how our USF students engage with the campus and the city in really special ways outside of the classroom. If you haven't caught on, the hashtag's really easy to remember. It has USF in it. And we say you stay for it because it's the reason students stay on campus out after class. So I come to USF to learn. I got to be there for school. What else am I doing? These are the things that keep me here. And so if you check out our hashtag, if you check out Instagram, you can see events from you can see photos from past events that students have put on campus. What's unique about this Instagram is it's not run by the university, it's run by students who are working in our office to show you, well, not necessarily to show you, but to show students who are already at USF the ways to get and stay and be involved. So we're letting you into that world because we want you to see what you're getting into if you're going to become a part of USF. And I think you'd be really excited to check out some of the events and programs that our student organizations put on and get a better idea from there than just what Cesar and I can give you today. So feel free to comb through. Like I said, that's our Instagram handle on the top, and the hashtag specifically highlights why students stay on campus. This next video is an introduction to a very specific leadership program that's for first-year students only. It's called the Magis program. Some of you may have already encountered this video or a little bit about Magis if you visited our website, but this is something that the university, specifically through our department, offers, and is for first-year students only. So we love to highlight it with you all because it's an entry point, not just for leadership studies and leadership theory, but also leadership practice and how to be a student leader at USF. So we're gonna let this play, and again, if it chugs along or slows up on your end, I'm gonna make sure you get the link after.
Hey, Rogers! Hey,
I really wanted to grow and strengthen my leadership skills. Also to make more friends because I'm coming to a far place from Hawaii. Everything's unfamiliar, and Magis just gives me more connections with people.
When you're in this program, you really find a community, find it fast. You seriously get to know these people on another level. And, I mean, it's really odd to think with freshman year with friends like that Magis. That's the biggest thing of the program. Is to take what you learn and actually apply it to real life settings. And then one of the best freshman experiences here at USF. Be creative. Be tenacious. Be inspired. Be Magis.
Be Magis.
Be Magis.
All right, so really quick to cover what else we do. We cover leadership over the course of your entire USF career. We offer conferences, we have Magis, which is a retreat and year-long experience. We offer special trainings for student org leaders. We have programs specifically for juniors and seniors when you get there to advance your leadership learning and how that'll affect your career. We also have a yearly awards ceremony to honor student leaders on campus, and we host regular workshops throughout the year. We're a staff of about 6 professionals, so we are constantly in the works of finding new and better ways to present leadership opportunities and learning to USF students. That said, that's the end of our formal presentation. So I want to open it up now with my friend Justin here to take your questions so we can really get at what you want to know in these specific areas. Also, while we're doing that, feel free, like I said, to take down the information below. The top is our email, the middle is our current website on the MyUSF page, so what our current undergraduates encounter. And then the bottom is our Twitter and our Instagram hashtag. Or screen name.
Awesome. Well, while I invite you guys to ask your questions through the chat box. So while we wait for a couple people to ask some questions, get their questions ready, I'll toss a question to our presenters. How easy is it to create your own club or organization should you not want to join any of the clubs that we offer at USF?
I'm
gonna let Cesar handle that question.
Yeah, so starting an organization is a fairly easy process. So what we would ask is first that students figure out, what is their interest, what is the type of organization that you want to host or that you want to create. So say you want to create a carpentry club, and you say, hey, there's nothing, we tried to look for a carpentry club-esque type of thing here on campus, we can't find it. You come to us and we'll say like, okay, well, let's start this process up. So what we first ask is that you find yourself and 4 other people who are interested and committed to starting the organization. And then from there, we ask you to build a constitution. And that's just something that we help guide you in. So it's not just kind of like go look online, try to figure out what a constitution is and then build it. We'll provide you with a template, with what the required language is, all that kind of stuff. But the constitution really is your organization's guiding document. It tells you like, what is our purpose? How are we going to carry on business? What are the things that we're going to do? What are our goals? What are the rules what are the duties of our officers? So you create those pieces and then we have you do a registration form. So that's kind of like the beginnings of it is first finding the people who are going to be committed to being in the organization, connecting with student leadership and engagement, which is our office, and then doing the constitution and the registration. And then that kind of initiates the organization into what we call a petitioning status. And during that status we'll help you kind of build up your organization, help you learn all the things that you need to know so that once you become officially recognized, you're 100% ready to go and build and be successful.
Awesome, awesome. Another question that I'm getting from a lot of students is, do you have to apply to the Modges program? And if so, how do incoming freshmen go about that?
Yeah, great question. When you get here in late August, we open up Modges applications the weekend of new student orientation. And then we run the application process for about 2 weeks. The program is reserved for about 30 new students. So it's a pretty exclusive program. We're looking for students of all different kinds of engagement backgrounds though, so don't, let it stop you from applying if you hadn't had a formal leadership role in high school or at work in the past. We're looking for a diverse group of students who do a great job on their application and tell us a story that we know will be impactful and important to the Modges cohort for that year, because you'll work together for the entire year to come up with some amazing projects, all starting with the retreat in early fall.
Cool, cool. Another question that I got, what are some of the most popular extracurricular activities that students get into at USF, or some of the most popular clubs or organizations?
Cool. Yeah, I would say some of our more popular areas are, we have some very popular cultural groups that have basically traditions on campus where they host events throughout the year. We have a large campus activities board group that puts on concerts and events. Our student government is pretty popular. They have committee opportunities. Cesar, I know our Greek organizations are pretty big. What are some of the other ones maybe we should highlight?
Here. I think you hit on some of the bigger ones. We have like Huyo Hawaii, Hawaiian Ensemble, who are both cultural clubs as well, and kind of the ones that have those traditions on campus of hosting events. I'm trying to think of others. Definitely fraternities and sororities. It's a community of about 600 people total. So there is a lot of activity and a lot of membership in those. Yeah, I'm kind of drawing a blank in terms of other ones that have large membership numbers. I would say our nursing association too, Nursing Student Association, they're one of our biggest and most active organizations on campus as well. And they do a lot of things from like things related to their major, but also service projects and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would say to wrap up, our sports club, our sports clubs are also very popular groups on campus. I see that coming up in the chat window. We do have some pretty dedicated teams that play other schools in the city, and that's supported by our department, but also the rec center, correct?
Didn't realize I was muted. I apologize. Couple more before we run out of time. Two-parter. Is there a way for students to see the list of clubs and organizations that we have at USF, and where can students find that?
Yeah, that's a great question. That website right in the middle of the screen, if you click student organizations, you can view more than just the names of the clubs. You can actually see their missions. I would say there is sometimes listed a student to reach out to. Just know that they're in transition right now. But a lot of those organizations have their own websites that they keep up to date, and their Instagrams. Another great way to check out our student orgs too is, yes, that website, but also if you go to the SLE Instagram account, you can check our followers and who we're following. A majority of them are our current clubs. And so that's another great way to check out what our clubs are doing on campus and which ones to join.
Awesome. Another important question I'm seeing from students, what in your opinions are the biggest campus events going on throughout the year?
I would say the traditions that we've established as a student org community tend to be the most well attended. So in the fall, events like Culturescape, which is an event where students get together across different cultural orgs and put on a stage show and follow it up with some really good food. I would say our annual family, parent, alumni weekend, Celebrate USF, is a newer event where a large part of our community gets together. The recruitment week and weekends for our Greek community in the fall draws a lot of students. And then we have major events in the spring, carnivals, the spring concert. The Campus Activities Board puts on 2 concerts, each of which have about 1,400 students in attendance. So that's you know, just over a fourth of our student body tends to come to those events. Those are the big ones. Our Barrio Showcase in the spring is very popular. Our college players, which is the oldest. I always forget the Cesar, maybe not. They're the oldest group like of college actors west of the Mississippi, longest continuous running acting group in a college setting. They've been around almost as long as USF, always called the College Players, and they're still here. They have a super popular spring musical, but they do shows year round. We're a small community in a big city, so there's lots to do in SF, but the events that are at USF on campus are very special ones.
Awesome, awesome. And last question before we, wrap up. Can you guys explain Greek life for students? What it's about, how it goes at USF, the ins and outs? Are Greek houses allowed for fraternities and sororities? All that.
Cesar, I'll let you take that.
For sure. Yeah. So, that's a big question.
A little bit. I'm putting you on the spot.
So I'll give you a snapshot. Yeah, and you can definitely reach out to us, our office, directly after this too, and we can definitely provide you, if it leaves you with any questions, provide you with some more insight. But we have 10 organizations that are considered social fraternities or sororities. So 6 of them are sororities, 4 of them are fraternities. And like I said earlier, a lot of them, they all have like an individual focus or area that they kind of look into. Just a reason, I guess, individualized mission. So out of those organizations, there might be some that are more of interest to you than others. And in terms of membership, so I think that this is a question that comes up often in terms of like who gets to join what type of organization. So for those 10 organizations, basically as long as you identify with the gender that organization is intended to serve, then you are considered for membership. Membership is not automatic, so you do have to go through a recruitment process for any type of fraternity or sorority that you're looking to join. So that recruitment process is going to look differently for each type of organization. And so I don't have enough time right now to kind of go into each of them, but we can definitely kind of support you. If this is something that you're interested in, we can give you some more information on that as well. But know that that's something that you would have to go through. Is you go through a recruitment process, and then if you're selected for membership, then you go through some type of new member process. So in that new member process is where you learn about the organization, you get to know the people in the organization, and then eventually become initiated into a full member. So that's kind of the piece of like how do you join, how do you get in. We don't have Greek houses or fraternity or sorority houses for our university. It's something that the city of San Francisco does not allow. But that doesn't necessarily mean less engagement or less opportunities that the organization has. Our organizations and chapters have the ability to still reserve rooms on campus and things like that to host their events, to host their meetings, and to get together, whether that's to have a philanthropy event or to have a meeting or to have a get together. Those things kind of also happen within the area of our campus. So I'm trying to think of other things. Was there any other pieces, Justin, that you wanted me to touch on?
No, that seems to answer a good chunk of the information for Greek life and whatnot at USF. Unfortunately, we are out of time. I appreciate every single student and person just on this live webinar. We hope you guys got to get a deeper dive into SLE and what SLE is about at USF. And like Rich and Cesar said, should you have any more questions, just feel free to reach out to them at their, at the SLE email, and feel free to follow all the Instagram hashtags and whatnot, and feel free to follow our student clubs and organizations. And obviously, should you have any more questions towards admission or anything such as that, feel free to email me or anyone on my team at the admissions office at USF. Okay. Well, that is it. Cesar and Rich, I appreciate you so much for being here and talking to our lovely students. And have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.